High up in a creaky old willow tree is a golden nest that has been protecting a little egg. The egg is almost ready to open, but there's no one home to greet the baby bird when he hatches himself from the egg. The sounds of cracking, scratching, and pecking can be heard, as well as a few cheeps. Suddenly, the egg breaks open, and an inquisitive baby bird appears, looking all around, and he said,
"Where am I? Who am I? What am I?"
The baby bird hears a faint hum that gets louder and louder, then a rush of wind.
"Oh, my baby, you've hatched out and I wasn't even here to help you."
The mother bird was clearly disappointed.
"Who are you?"
the baby bird asked.
"I'm your mommy, and you're our new baby, Skylark."
Skylark looks at the other bird who has flown to the nest with his mommy and asks,
"Are you a mommy too?"
"No, I'm your father, and we're going to take care of you,"
the father bird said in a very stern tone. Skylark crossed his wings rather defensively and said,
"Nobody's going to take care of me because I'm strong."
"A stubborn child," the mother bird gasped. "He's picked up your terrible habits already." "Now, wait a minute, Mother. He's just been hatched. How could he pick up my habits so suddenly? You're the first one he saw," said the father bird.
Skylark has begun to sing what his mommy has told him he is.
"I'm a stubborn child, I'm a stubborn child, I'm gonna be like my daddy, I'm gonna be like my daddy."
"No, look what you've done. It's hopeless. What if he never learns to fly? All my dreams and hopes of him becoming the best flyer the world has ever known. Gone, gone, gone. What if he's a failure? What would people think of us? How would I look? The mother of a failure."
Skylark's mother said, oh, so woefully,
"I'm gonna be a failure, a failure, a failure. I'm gonna be a failure until the day I die,"
sang Skylark.
"I can tell you one thing," said Skylark's father. "With an attitude like that, he'll never learn to fly. Bad attitude, son. Bad attitude. You're going to learn to fly all right because I'll beat you till you do. Besides, Robin's son learned to fly by the time he was 4 weeks old, and you'll do the same."
"I'm gonna be stubborn forever, forever, forever. I'm gonna be stubborn forever and never learn to fly," sang Skylark.
"Well, that's it. He's made up his mind. I don't know what we've done to deserve this. It's all your fault." "My fault?" questioned the father. "Yes, and the winter's going to get him for sure. Now he'll die before spring."
"Oh, no," screamed Skylark. "The winter's going to get me. The winter's going to get me, and I'm going to die before spring."
Then he suddenly stops and with great curiosity asks,
"What's winter?"
"Winter is when the sun begins to hide and lean closer to the land where it's always warm. We go there every year in the fall," said the mother bird.
"The land where it's always warm? Where's that?"
asked Skylark.
"You ask too many questions," shouted the mother bird. "Do you know that? Just believe me when I tell you something, because when I say something is so, it's so."
"But where is it?"
Skylark asked persistently. Skylark's mother was getting angry now.
"Can't you see I'm busy? Stop asking questions right now or I'll give you a pecking you won't soon forget. It's going to be difficult enough raising a child who has a bad attitude without having to answer all his stupid questions, too."
"But where is it?" he asked again.
And wished he hadn't, for he saw a look in his mother's eyes that made him feel very fearful. Skylark's mother was puffing her chest up so she looked larger and stronger, and she began dancing back and forth before she lunged at him to peck him. Skylark was so frightened he jumped quickly to get out of her way, but oh my, he jumped too far and popped right out of the nest and began falling, falling, falling. Everything went by him so fast he didn't see the leaves of the trees or anything. Skylark's mother had lunged so hard that she hit her beak on the branch of the tree.
"Ouch! Oh, my beak, my poor precious beak, you nasty little child. Now look what you've done. I shall have to go around with a crooked beak for the rest of my life."
Then she noticed that Skylark was missing.
"Skylark, Skylark, where are you?"
But Skylark couldn't hear her. He was way, way down at the bottom of the tree in some nice soft grass.
"Where am I?" he wondered. "I landed with an awful bang. It's a good thing I'm so soft and fuzzy or I could be very hurt."
Skylark was getting hungry, so he started pecking around to find something to eat. He found the tail end of a green worm and bit down hard on it. The other end of the worm didn't like that at all and started after Skylark.
"What's this?" cried Skylark. "Hey, you big bully, you let go of me."
It looked to Skylark as if he was between two different worms instead of one long worm whose middle was underground.
"Listen, Buster," the worm scolded. "You better pick on someone your own size, then."
But I wasn't pecking on you, said Skylark. I was pecking on your friend over there.
"That is me," said the worm.
How can that be you when you're over there? You're trying to trick me. Who are you anyway?
Skylark asked suspiciously.
"I'm Willie Worm," the worm declared.
And who's your friend?
"I told you, that's me."
Prove it.
"What do you think I am, as dumb as you? Even if you got me out of this hole, I'd be too big for you to eat," the worm said smugly.
Eat? You mean you're to be eaten? But you don't even look good.
The worm was flabbergasted. "First you try to eat me, then you call me a liar, and now you insult me. Good day, sir."
And he crawled away from Skylark as fast as he could.
Wait! Come back, he called, with a worried tone in his voice. Can you tell me when the winter's coming?
"After you learn how to fly," said the worm.
But I'm not ever going to learn how to fly, said Skylark matter-of-factly. My Mommy and Daddy said so.
"Then you better find a house to live in, because it's going to get mighty cold," he warned.
And with that, he said a final goodbye. Skylark had never had a friend, but he felt sadness as he watched this one funny creature slowly move away from him. Boom! 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 The noise vibrated through Skylark.
"Oh," said Skylark, "I wonder if that's the winter coming to get me."
And he tried his best to hide. Peeking out from under a leaf, Skylark was struck with bewilderment.
"Oh, my gracious! Look at that! I've never seen anything so big. I wonder what it is."
A crow who had been following the animal overheard Skylark's question and gave him the answer.
"That's a donkey! Caw, caw, caw! That's a donkey! Why, it's got 4 feet. I've only got 2. It must be very intelligent. It can walk twice as fast as I can.
I wish I was a donkey," Skylark said wistfully.
"Twinkle, twinkle, little star, what you say is what you are. Don't say that and you'll go far. You can't be a donkey, you're a bird, and you've got to learn to fly," scolded the crow.
"But I'm not going to. I'll never learn to fly, because I'm a failure. My Mommy and Daddy said so," Skylark said with certainty. Skylark's Mommy had been circling around and around in an attempt to spot Skylark down on the ground, and at last she does.
"There you are," she trilled. "Since you've already jumped out of the nest, I might as well teach you how to fly now. And I don't want any trouble from you. I want your full cooperation. You've got to be a good flyer. The happiness of my life depends on what you do. You've got to be the best flyer in the world for me. I'll be so proud that I raised you right. You're not going to be a klutz like your father. He never could fly well, never applied himself. Neither did I, for that matter, but you're going to." The crow groaned.
"Oh, brother, is that your mother? You poor kid, you don't stand a chance."
"Now do everything I do." "No, no, no, that's wrong. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. You're more trouble than you're worth. Oh, what have I done to deserve such a child? Try it this way now." "No, don't do that. You are the most uncooperative child I've ever met. You'll never learn to fly. I'll have to get your father and see if he can do anything with you. I doubt it, but he'll do his duty or I'll peck him in the eye."
Well, poor Skylark's father came and did his duty, which consisted of feathering and scolding and pecking, but that stubborn child just wouldn't learn. They called in all their relatives then, but no one could teach poor Skylark to fly. He would really try and then get so sick that he just sat there shivering and quivering with his eyes closed lest someone peck him again. And as Skylark became more sickly and weak, his mother's conscience began to awaken, and she grew pale and quiet. She began to look back within her thoughts to how she had learned to fly, how she had been wing-twisted by her own father because he wanted her to fly too young. She had been eager to please, but he had pushed her too fast, and she had rebelled. Now here she was doing the same thing to her nestling. She turned her eyes from the ugly sight before her and told them all to stop. But it was too late. Skylark had now made up his mind that he would never try to fly again, and that he would stay away from flying birds for the rest of his life. It wasn't such a hard life that he chose, but he looked like the saddest bird you could ever meet. He even stopped singing, for he noticed that every time he started to sing he placed himself in danger. The cat would come looking for him, or the snake, or worse yet, the fox. And as he didn't know how to fly, there was no way he could protect himself. He did make a deal with the donkey, though. In exchange for eating the insects that continually plagued the donkey was happy to give him a ride wherever he wanted to go. This offered some protection, as he was so high up most of his enemies didn't notice him. He found a colony of other birds who didn't want to fly and lived with them off and on. They were a rowdy bunch at times and had a lot of fears, but at least he wasn't bothered with someone who was going to try to make him fly. He made a few friends, including Jackie Jaybird. She wasn't really the girlfriend type, but he did like to have someone to talk with occasionally, and she was kind of funny in her own way. One afternoon, as Skylark was out searching for food, life presented him with a rare opportunity, a chance meeting with someone who had a purpose in life. He was on his way back to the colony riding on top of the donkey when something in the sky caught his eye. "Look at that, would you? I've never seen anyone fly as gracefully as that. I wonder who she is. She's the most beautiful bird I've ever seen. Too bad she flies, otherwise we could meet and I could get to know her."
Yep, agreed the donkey. Too bad she flies, too bad she flies. I'm sure glad you don't fly, else I'd have too many flies around me. Yuck.
"Uh-oh, here she comes, and I don't have any place to hide," he said with alarm. Then with a rush of wind, she was before him. "Hi, who are you?" she asked. "I'm Dovey." My name is Skylark." "What are you doing riding on that donkey's back?"
"He's my friend, and I get tired of walking."
"But you're not supposed to walk. You're supposed to fly."
"Oh, I'm not supposed to fly. Some birds are and some birds aren't, you know."
"Oh, really? Well, if you say so. But how do you know that?"
"Well, there's a whole colony of birds over there that say so. That's how I know."
"Did you ever try to fly?"
"Yes, but I did it all wrong, and everybody laughed at me. They kept telling me that I shouldn't hold my wings so, and that my tail was too high, and my feet were in the wrong position. Every time I'd move to change it, someone else would tell me it was wrong. Then they beat me with their feathers and pecked at me until I became very sick and started shaking all over. After that, I would become very sad and frightened whenever a flying bird came near me."
"Oh, how cruel," Dovey responded with sympathy.
That's when this colony of birds found me and told me we were a special kind of bird that wasn't supposed to fly. They showed me how I could get by in the wintertime by pretending I was a winter bird and begging for someone to show me love and give me food and shelter. Now I'm very good at it, and I know I can get through the winter."
"But you're not supposed to beg for love. You don't have to. I can tell by the way you flutter your wings that you'd be an excellent flyer. Besides, all birds are supposed to fly. Even your name suggests it. Skylark. That colony of birds told you that because most of them have been told they'll never learn to fly, and they believed it, just like you do. They've believed it so long that now they don't want to work at anything, and everyone thinks they're lazy. Only those who work the hardest fly the best. They don't want to fly simply because they don't want to work. But they really do, only they don't know it yet. Right now you have more strength than they do. I can tell by how neat and clean you are and by the way you talk. You can fly. I know you can fly.
But I don't want to. I'm not even interested in flying."
"Is that so?" Dovey asked with a wise smile on her face. "Well then, why were you watching me while I was flying?"
"Oh, I don't know."
How could he tell her that she was the most beautiful bird he had ever seen?
"I think you do want to fly," she persisted. "No, I don't." "Yes, you do," she sang. "You do want to fly, to soar in the sky. You do want to fly. You do want to try." "I do not," he shouted.
"Yes, you do," she returned.
"Stop saying that. I know I don't."
"I know you do, but you're afraid someone will laugh at you. Go on, admit it."
"That's not so." "Is, isn't, is."
Dovey got the last word because Jackie Jaybird suddenly appeared. She had been watching them from a distance, wondering why Skylark was talking to a bird who could fly. One of the rules of the colony was that you weren't supposed to associate with flying birds.
"Who's she?"
Jackie demanded to know. "My name is Dovey," she said softly.
"My name is Jackie Jaybird," she mocked, "and you're talking to my fella."
"I was just passing the time of day with him."
"Well, it's not your time to pass. It's my time. Would you look at those feathers? All dolled up like she was going someplace. Where'd you get those feathers, honey? Did you steal 'em or someone give 'em to you?"
Jackie was clearly trying to start an argument. "No, I didn't steal them, and no one gave them to me," Dovey said without even a ruffle in her feathers.
"Ask her where she got them feathers. Feathers as fine as that, someone had to give 'em to her. Ask her. Go ahead. Ask her," Jackie sputtered.
"Where did you get your feathers, Dovey? Did someone give them to you?" Skylark asked. "No, no one gave them to me. It seems the harder you try to fly and the more you practice after you've learned to fly, the more beautiful your feathers become."
"I tried to fly once and nothing happened to my feathers," Jackie said in a huff.
"How long did you try?" Dovey questioned.
10 minutes, and the only thing that happened to me was my wings got tired, I fell on my beak and sprained my foot. I knew then that flying was dangerous, so I gave up." But you're supposed to get tired when you're learning to fly, and you have to expect to make mistakes. That's how we learn, by seeing our mistakes and correcting them, Dovey explained. I don't like to make mistakes, and I don't like to get tired. I like to rest and be with my friends, Jackie said impatiently. But if you want to learn to fly, you'll have to get used to being tired and making mistakes. And after you learn to fly, you won't get tired as often, and you'll make less mistakes, Dovey offered. I'm not going to make any mistakes, said Jackie, because I'm not going to learn to fly. Dovey turned to Skylark. You want to, Skylark? You can do it. I know you can. Come with me and try. No, don't listen to her, Skylark. She's trying to split us up. She's trying to take you away from me with her lies. You come too, Jackie, or just watch from there. You learn by watching and trying by yourself. No one really has to teach you anything. You just know you can, and then you work at it until you do it, Dovey said encouragingly. No, don't watch her, Jackie. Alarm me. I believe you, Dovey. It might be fun to fly, but I belong here. All my friends are here. I don't want to leave them. They've all felt sorry for me and taken care of me. Friends are important. But are you sure they're friends? Dovey asked. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm not going to listen to any more of this. I'm leaving right now, and if you don't come with me, you'll never see me again. All right, Jackie, just a minute. Will you be around tomorrow, Dovey? Maybe we could talk then. Yes, I'll be here tomorrow, Skylark, she said. You make up your mind right now, Jackie ordered. If you go with her and try to fly, you'll be killed. I'll see you back at the colony. Jackie headed for the colony, and Dovey flew off in the opposite direction, and Skylark was left to ponder the events of the afternoon. What am I going to do, he thought. What am I to believe? Jackie says one thing, Dovey says another. Maybe I should try to fly. After all, I haven't tried for months. I'm older now. It's not like I was a baby bird, and I'm not scrawny anymore. I'm very strong. I'm stronger than any bird back at the colony. Or I could just go on like this. Do nothing at all. I'd be safe. I wouldn't have to decide. I'll go back to the group. If I'm with them, I won't have to fly. I won't have to try. But what then? I'm so confused. All of a sudden, there's so much out there I'd like to do. So many things I want to know. All the world can't be bad like the others say. I've met Dovey. She's made the difference. Things won't ever be the same. Everything's changed. Oh, change, change. I don't want change. I'm afraid of change. Oh, how I wish I'd never met Dovey. But I did. And she was like a gift to me. And I can't return that gift. There's no returning a gift of life. That would be death. So now I know. I must try, no matter what it brings. Skylark was waiting in the meadow the next morning for Dovey. His enthusiasm had been building all night long, and now he was eager to try. There she was above him now. Dovey, come down, he shouted. I want to fly. I want to fly. I know you can teach me. But I'm not going to teach you, Dovey said as she landed next to him. That came as a sudden jolt to Skylark. What do you mean you're not going to teach me? How else can I learn to fly? I don't understand, he said in confusion. You're going to teach yourself, Dovey assured him. But I can't, said Skylark. You've never really tried to teach yourself. Do you think you can fly, she asked. Yes, I think so. I've even dreamed of flying. I dreamed I was at the edge of a forest, and I had to go across a field. And there was a deep, dark pit that I went into. I felt terribly alone and unloved. Then I had to go around this sharp rock that held so much anger, and I was frightened because I couldn't control the rock. There was a tree with branches that seemed to point at me and tell me bad things about everything I did, and each branch had a different voice, and they were all talking at once until it became an awful roar. I tried to cry, but I couldn't. I tried to believe everything was going to be all right, but still had this feeling of hopelessness and despair, that everything I was doing was wrong, and whatever decision I made was going to be bad. But somehow I knew if I could just get across that field, I could fly. And Dovey, I really do want to fly more than anything else in the world. Then you can. I will give you some instructions, and then I will leave, she said. Leave? But it's only when I'm near you that I think I can fly. If you go, I'll never learn to fly. That's just it, said Dovey.
You've got to learn to fly because you want to fly, not because I want you to fly." "But I do want to fly," Skylark said fervently. "Then you can do it without me. Now here are your instructions. Say to yourself over and over again, 'I want to remember everything anyone has ever told me about flying when I was a child.' Walk the forest all night tonight and repeat it over and over until you remember. Then, when you remember, say the exact opposite of what you were told. Repeat these phrases until your mind is so full of them that you have no time to doubt. And last of all, Skylark, I've seen your parents. They've been looking for you. Your mother fell apart when she realized what a terrible thing they had done. They want to help, and they told me to bring this message to you. They send you their love and ask your forgiveness. Whenever you want to return to them, they welcome you. Whenever you determine you want to fly, they speed their prayers to assist you. Farewell, Skylark, and try to remember all that I've told you." "Farewell, Dovey. I want to remember. I will remember. I must remember," he said fiercely. All night long, Skylark walked the forest floor, telling himself he wanted to remember. He walked slowly and tripped often in the dark, but he said those words as strongly as he could and wouldn't let his mind wander to other thoughts. Thoughts of fear, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of rest, thoughts of failure. His determination to remember was so powerful that toward dawn everything became clear. You're a stubborn child. You're never going to learn to fly. You're going to be a failure. You have a bad attitude. You're more trouble than you're worth. I wish I was a donkey. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, what you say is what you are. So, in a sense, he had become a donkey, walking when he could be flying. But the opposites, what are the opposites? I am not a stubborn child. I'm a cooperative child. I can learn to fly. I can learn to fly. I don't have a bad attitude. I have a good attitude. I can learn to fly. I can learn to fly. I'm not more trouble than I'm worth. I'm a helpful person. I'm a kind person. I can learn to fly. I can learn to fly. Night after night he directed his thoughts as he walked the darkened forest. During the day he rested and exercised his wings, and then began his important task again at night so he could be alone, trying harder and harder, night and day and night, tears streaming down his face until he was at the point of collapse. Then, as exhausted as he was, he knew that now was the time to try to fly. And as he fluttered his wings, he began to say, "I can fly. I 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 can fly." Then a fall, but up to try again. Higher. He must get higher. "I can fly. I 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 can fly. I'm flying. I'm flying. I'm flying.